it's Michelle here with Magnolia Grove Homestead. I am so happy that you have tuned in with me today. Today I'm going to be talking about the apple trees that I planted over the weekend. I knew that we were going to get rain and snow, and so I wanted to go ahead and get them in the ground. I figured I'd just make this video and go back and attach pictures throughout the video to show you what I'm talking about. But to begin, we just dug a hole here. About 2 feet deep, and then we went through and crumbled up some of the native soil. You don't want to put a brand new tree in brand new soil. You want to have some of that native soil there. So we grinded some of that soil up, and then we mixed it in with some just planting soil and some peat moss, and then we added in some organic fertilizer just to kind of help it get going. I talked to the guys at our local garden store, and he recommended that we use this certain kind of starter. That way it would come into contact with the roots, and the materials in that starter would help it develop a good strong root system. So we got that done, and then we put the tree into the ground, and there's this little knob that sticks off of the end of the apple tree, and you want to make sure that knob stays above the ground. So we packed in soil all around below that knob. And then we laid just a gardening mesh fabric over top of it to kind of keep down on the weeds and whatnot. And then we put these, my husband went and got these little bricks or stones at Lowe's to go around, and we made a border, that way the dogs can't tear up in there. And then we just covered that up with mulch. And like I said, it was going to rain, so I didn't even worry about watering it. I didn't want it to be too wet. Our soil we've gotten a lot of rain this year, and so I didn't want it to be, you know, like mud starting out. And so a couple of things that I learned though in my research about these apple trees: you do have to plant 2 trees together. That was in almost everything that I read. And that just helps them be able to pollinate and germinate better. I did read some conflicting stuff though. Some things said that you needed to plant 2 different varieties of trees. Like I planted Golden Delicious. So some people said that you needed to plant another like Gala tree or something. I'm not real sure. If y'all know anything about that, drop it in the comments. But other than that, a lot of people recommended putting tomato cages or stakes around your apple trees. I didn't do that yet. I may. I thought I had some on hand, and I don't. So I may go ahead later on and put some tomato stakes around them down underneath that mulch, just to kind of protect them and let them have a good chance to get a good root system. Now, I am not sure that they will grow big enough this year to bear fruit. I'm thinking that might take until next year, but I don't know. We'll just keep a check on it through these videos. You want to make sure when you plant your apple trees, everything that I read said to plant it uphill so that the water wouldn't sit underneath that root ball and mold and cause fungus and that kind of thing for your roots. But I think you also have to take into account your space that you're going to plant the tree in. For me, uphill is bound by roots. It's just not a good area for me. So I did have to plant these a little more downhill than I wanted to. But also, when you decide to plant an apple tree, you need to make sure, or any kind of fruit tree, you need to kind of think it through before you just go digging a hole, because fruit trees are not trees that you can just pick up and move. They're not going to be as forgiving as your vegetable plants or your flowers or your bushes. When you dig up an apple tree or a pear tree, whatever, you're probably going to disrupt that root system, if not damage it. And I don't think that they do very well when they're transplanted. So make sure that you put plenty of thought into planting your apple tree. Don't just go outside and say, hey, I'd like to have an apple tree here. Make sure that it's somewhere you want it to be for a long, long time. My apple trees are a little closer. Y'all see these trees right here? I have all my bird feeders and whatnot in there right now. They're a little bit closer to the birds than I wanted them to be, but I actually think I might move the bird stuff up front in the front yard so that the birds will be away from my garden space too. I haven't decided yet, but you know, just little things like that you need to take into account. Make sure that you have that tree needs to be planted, and that soil needs to be packed around it pretty good. It should be standing up on its own. You shouldn't have to prop it, or, you know, a little light wind shouldn't blow it. Now, if you live somewhere that you have strong, heavy winds, you will make sure that you go ahead and stake that tree in several different points so that your wind doesn't blow it. We don't have that bad of weather here. It's just been really wet this year. But other than that, there are a few things in the works. My greenhouse came in the mail, so we got to put that together. We got all of our cedar. I don't know if y'all can see that back there. We got the whole trailer load of cedar unloaded, so now we have to get out here and put the raised bed gardens together. I will check back with y'all probably in a few days and let you know how those seeds that I started are doing. They haven't started sprouting just yet, but my husband did build me a stand for my grow lights, so I'm hoping it won't be, you know, a week or two and I'll start seeing something. If y'all want to keep in touch, or, you know, keep watching the rest of my videos and see how this thing unfolds, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so that you don't miss any notifications. Until next time, God bless.